Good vibes, y'all. High vibes. Thanks so much for coming to Goddess Garden where you grow, flow within and out, and you welcome peace within you and you transmute that energy out. Today, today, I want to talk about um, how to build a self sustainable garden with using to little little to no money basically, and for your garden can thrive, for the soil can be alive, because guess what, if the soil is not alive and thriving, then guess what, then the plants are malnourished. Like I always talk about with fertilizer is nothing but a help. Chemical fertilizer actually kills soil. So, it basically depletes the soil. So, if the soil is being depleted, then comprehend is that there will be less nutrient value in that plant for the body. I'm pretty sure plenty of people are growing a garden to actually feed their families or whatever, whatnot. But or just actually because it's lovely. But yeah, those chemical fertilizers is literally depleting the soil. You want to be able to boost up your soil and make it alive and thrive instead of trying to survive. Okay? And that goes from within and out. If you are, because the plants is actually in the soil, it's a form of energy, it's a form of frequency. So that goes within your body also. What you gotta start thinking like whatever that goes in, what comes out. As above, so below. As within, so without. Okay? So my thing is that you got to be able to have your soil to even be alive. That even goes within your pots too. I have a bunch of worms. I didn't put them there. I don't buy all of these things for they can go in there. Just by nature, they go in there. These things comes in their cells, live soil, because you got to be able to feed your soil. Um, Not those artificial things. You want things to be authentic, just like how nature is. Let's get to it. I want to pan y'all around my garden. You see that? This took this took time for it to actually build up. I mean, you can go back to my other videos, but I will tell y'all the most important part about building up soil is letting those so-called weeds grow to a certain extent. Doing a lot of chopping drops, and I'm gonna tell y'all my biggest secret, because it wasn't the fertilizers. The fertilizers was just the help. I built up my soil. So let me show you. So y'all, instead of or relying on fertilizers and constant input, I'm gonna tell y'all is that how to work with nature. You want to put natives in there. How to work with nature. You want to build up your soil to support and balance the soil and the plants. You want to be able to know. I'm going to tell y'all need to know is that the foundation of a garden, of anything that thrives, is living soil. Yes, living soil. It has to be alive, okay? Healthy soil is not just dirt. Healthy soil is alive and thriving, okay? Look at my pomegranate. Also, this is just small things I'm literally just touching on, because there's a lot of things that just cannot even be explained. A lot of people want to have some type of explanation about things like science. Science is always changing. That's what people got to comprehend. Use common sense. Do y'all have that? Because I'm tired of people trying to say is that you got to back something up with science. Science is always changing. It's just like nature. Nature gonna always change on you, period. Some things is gonna get acclimated with just the what do you call those things that they spray? Those herbicides, those all of those sprays to kill off nature. Those things literally just get acclimated. It's called evolving. Okay? It's called evolving. So when people keep on saying, "Oh, we're science. Well, this is science. This is science." Well, comprehend with this. Some things doesn't need to be explained. Period. It's just like faith. Put it that way. You can't explain faith. Some things you just can't be able to explain. So when someone say back something up, they better back it up their own self. Don't act. If they ask you a question, they gotta be able to question their own self, and then be able to go deeper for their own self. Because some things is not meant to be explained, just like with nature. Period. Moving on is that underneath the ground you got fungal connects. Like underground is the fungal connect to the plant roots. They exchange nutrients and water for plant sugar. This creates a self-feeding network. Not all plants connect to this network, so your job is to balance the garden, because naturally nature will balance its own self. I keep on telling humanity is that humans are not needed. Humans want to. That's just the ego. The ego wants to be needed. Now, if you tap in, you already know is that what it is. Period. Things that doesn't need to be explained. Tap in. Go within. Because at the end of the day, is that's what you need to start comprehending. Instead of want that validation, that external validation. Your validation starts from within. So the network of builders, which is the mycorrhizal plants, those are the beans, the corns, the tomatoes, and peppers. I didn't start mine with that. I literally just put them all in there. But beans obviously does feed the soil. The beans does feed the soil. There's a lot of things that don't feed the soil, which is the non-builders, which is I guess like the brassica plants. But they can actually help, because if you're doing like a bunch of chopping drops. But what really actually bulked up my garden, let me just show y'all. Y'all see this fungus right here? That right there actually helped this garden. That right there. And obviously, nature. You see the birds? You hear the birds? Nature. Nature did. I always talk about polyculture. Planting multiple different cultivars in one space. You can even do this with your bags, with your grow bags. You can even do this with inside your containers. You could do this, because when I first started, I was doing containers. I always planted two things. If it was a 5 gallon, I'm planting two things with one another, which is the herb or a flower, even a sunflower, and then tomato, peppers, and all the other extra stuff. But literally, you got to know how to pair these plants together, or just let nature run its course. That's another thing. Let nature run its course. Like over here, Here's a builder, which is sunflowers. Sunflowers are builders. They literally strip out heavy metals in the ground. I'm pretty sure, and they also take out toxins and all that stuff like that in the ground. So some people may call these weeds, but like at the end of the day, like I always say to y'all, is that these weeds will actually tell you guys what type of soil that you do have. Because at the end of the day, is that back then they didn't have no goddamn soil tests. And who in the hell I'm me personally, I ain't about to waste my money on no soil tests. I would literally observe my area and figure it out. Soil tests is for people that want to be in a quick and a hurry. But guess what? Those hurry results will actually equate to malnourished plants also. So at the end of the day is that you got to pick and choose which one you want to get, because at the end of the day is that if your soil is depleted, then comprehend with this is that those amendments that you guys keep on buying, those things are not gonna, those are just only the help. They're only gonna help it just only for that certain period of time, period. But if you want long term for your soil, then you want to have to build it out long term instead of that short term. How I know this? Because I have already tried it. So I'm only talking from experience. Check this pot out. This pot has a tree, and it's my bonfire peach. Look at it, so pretty. This bonfire peach is real pretty. I love the leaves on that. The leaves look so pretty. Trees are so beautiful to me. And then I got this flower. The hummingbirds really love this flower. Really like it. A tomato in here. I didn't plant it out. I literally just throw things inside my pots. Remember, I did state to y'all is that I do a lot of composting in place. That's back in my other videos. I do a lot of composting in place. Literally, I just throw my scraps out there, and then out there I cover it with mulch, and then cover it with coffee grounds. Because at the end of the day, you do not want to have these rodents in your pile. Period. So, like I said, is that also I don't fertilize this. There's no type of external fertilizers that's in my pot. Literally, it's just been fed with scraps and mulch. I probably the mulch is coming from like a big box store, period. But at the end of the day, is that I don't do the fertilizers in these pots. Nobody got time for all that. Wow, look at these snapdragons. They're so pretty. They're like literally tucked underneath the sunflowers. Like the sunflowers can be used as a canopy. There are like canopy plants. You don't have to go buy no shade cloth. No, just plant some sunflowers. And then, they're feeding the soil anyways. That shade cloth ain't doing nothing. You gotta go buy. You literally just buying. It's becoming a consumer, a big consumer. Try using things of what you actually already have to get where you at, to get where you want to get. Check out this bed. At first I was not using raised beds, but I do have in-ground beds though. Check out this bed. This bed is filled with, I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about. All right. So I got a sunflower right here. Comprehend with this. This stuff wasn't like this at first until I really started doing my due diligence on healthy soil. Okay, when I really started doing my due diligence on healthy soil is really, really key to anything. Live soil, period. I ain't talking about the ones in the bag neither, because at the end of the day is that's not what's going to actually help your soil be alive. Only for that season, and after that, it's just depletes, period. So like I stated is that check out this bed, y'all. This bed is like literally filled with live enzymes, because I do not pull up my plants. I do a lot of chop and drops, and I do a lot of the root just stay in ground, and I do a lot of perennials in my beds. So a naked bed is a depleted soil. Remember that a naked bed is depleted soil. So soil that's like already, they say starting off fresh, That's your soil should already be okay. When you first put your garden in, it's only supposed to be starting out fresh. Then down the line, you're just adding in more. You just could continue on adding in your soil. Your soil should never be naked. Period. It should never. It it's gonna be literally that top layer is just gonna literally be depleted. However, you will have to start adding in those organic amendments. And I always say is that if you guys cannot get your hand on spent mushroom blocks, aka spent mushroom substrates, then always add mulch. If there is companies that do free mulch. If you don't have mulch, then guess what? They always got that $2 holler going on. Mulch actually is a good key to fertilize as far as like with fertilization, as far as like with the soil. Mulch, 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 mulch. Eventually, when you get perennials in your garden, once they get bigger, you can do a lot of chop and drops with that also, because of the soil, everything is literally feeding on that old soil, not old soil, but the old plants basically. So a lot of chop and drops. So in the beginning, you are going to start with adding those type of amendments, which is mulch, getting in the soil, da, 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 and then adding those things that's going to keep your soil alive. Okay. So like I stated, is that there's a lot of perennials in here too. So I do add a lot of polyculture, whatever that you are interested in eating, herbs and stuff like that. So this bed is filled with a bunch of goodness in here, which I'm about to show you the prize though, because at the end of the day, this is something that you want to see if they have this in your area, which is those spent mushroom blocks. But like I said, if you can't get spent blocks, you can do mulch. You could do cardboard. Start utilizing those free things that's around you. Coffee grounds. Some people may say, oh, don't go to Starbucks, da 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 da. Go to local. What are they trying to sell? That's all I be asking people. Like, what are you trying to sell? Because at the end of the day is that we already know is that this, the country is a business, period. So when people say that don't do this, don't get stuff like that's coffee grounds is free. Oh, they got this, that, and the other. Who told you that? Because at the end of the day, is that the stuff that you buying organic, you may not know that don't have this, that, and the other on there. So at the end of the day, is that get what you could get. Period. Wow, look at the lily. It opened up. Yes, I have a passion for gardening. Some people ask, "Oh, what is your credentials? Do you have a degree in this? Do you have a degree in that?" Like, I have a degree in my experience. I do have a degree, but I'm not gonna tell you what's my degree though. I'm gonna tell you, it's just a science degree. It's just a science degree. Oh, what major? I ain't gonna tell you all that. Cause at the end of the day, that shit don't even matter. How I look at degrees now, it's just an expensive piece of paper. Period. That's how I look at it. You gonna have to learn life through your experience, through your own life. Period. I wouldn't even say just experience, because you can be able to look at somebody else's life and be like, I don't want that. No thanks. They already experienced it for you. But like I always say, you gotta do inner work, honey. You gotta do that. But right here, this is my cilantro. Cilantro literally went to seed. I will tell y'all this, y'all. Come closer. I'm gonna tell y'all this, like, for real. I did have like an aphid problem, an aphid issue. I'm literally getting rid of aphids. I'm in the process of getting rid of them. So I did go ahead and spray that neem oil. I'm tired of like losing out on my plants, my crops or whatever. making sure that it's off of there. Let's see a caterpillar. I don't care about this caterpillar. The aphids I do care about, because they can decimate a plant. Ew, they just so gross. Ugh, they just so nasty. So this is all the damage right over here. I went in with the neem oil. I literally sprayed the plant, and I did spray around the soil, because they are on the soil also. You can like literally blast them off with water, but I did the organic method, which is spraying them off with neem oil. You can do a peppermint spray also with soap, water, and peppermint oil. I think they on my trellis. I'm gonna have to go in here and spray this out. Ugh, they're just so gross. They are just so nasty. Ew. That's another thing is that people say that ants farm aphids. They do to a certain extent, because they do to a certain extent. I never had aphid issues until I bought a plant from the nursery and wasn't really paying attention, of expecting the plant, like going literally just, oh, this plant look nice, you know, as a beginner, just thinking stupid, just thinking silly. But now I know. So instead of like, when you go somewhere, you want if you're getting plants that's outside, and you want to make sure it's not diseased, it doesn't have a disease, and it doesn't have any bugs or anything like that. So you want to make sure that you want to turn those leaves over, because this is where I failed at. I did not turn my leaves over, and there was aphids underneath there. I went back, and then my baby was like, ew, there's bugs underneath there. I was like, ew, seriously? And now I know. I'm like, now I know where this shit came from, which is at that nursery. And it's just like, and it's not the nursery fault. Shit, probably it is. But at the end of the day, is that the most secure thing that you could do is learn how to grow from seed. Period. Like, I wanted that instant gratification. Like, oh, they already have the plant. Let me just, because I already had the seeds going, and I was like, oh, I could just literally get a harvest now. So that instant gratification actually turned into a big issue with this, but the issue is actually being corrected, okay? But also, I want to just show y'all something, is that mint is literally in my beds. A lot of people always say don't plant mint, but mint is literally, for me, is meant to be here. So also, I do have some perennials and some natives are perennials, but I do have a lot of natives in my in-ground bed. So I do plant natives and everything like that together, because of those natives is able to feed the soil too. They're helping the soil out also. So that, like I said, is that's a builder. And then you got your connectors too, and then you got your non-connectors. If you guys really want to like get a guide for this, I'm gonna link it, because I do have it on my Etsy page now. So I had to really go in and link it on my Etsy page. So that's just the beginning of the guide. I will be able to expand it a little bit more as I continue on working on it. So this is just the beginning of the guide builder. So I'll literally just link that at the bottom. All right, y'all. Look at the primrose. The primrose is so beautiful. But as I gauge, y'all, remember I was like, oh, my garden is so ugly, I don't like it, da, 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 da. It has filled out, and it's so beautiful. But check out the garden, y'all. It literally filled out. Look at all of this vegetation. Some weeds are growing, and the flowers will be opening up really soon. But check this out, y'all. Look at these daisies. Oh my god, these are so pretty. They are really, really pretty. These are so pretty. And no, I did not grow them from seed. These are called African daisies. There are the Zion Purple Sun. So if you guys are looking for the seeds, that's what the name is called. Check this bed out. Oh, the soil is starting to break down. Whenever y'all see this, This is a good sign of live soil. Right there. Let me zoom in. A good sign of live soil. Oh, and I did went on ahead and took care of that ant pile because they was getting a little bit too aggressive for me. I ain't got time for all that. Yeah, they help build the soil. They help with the soil, loosen up the soil. But I got plants to be able to do that. They become a problem. They could be a problem. And I ain't got time for all that. But check this out. Look over here. The Swiss chard. I really like this bed, and it's like so filled out. The Swiss chard was not that big. It was not that big. That's how I know my soil is alive now, because it was really small. Really small. Like really small. Like when I put it in, and then once my soil started breaking down, like as I showed y'all the example of, is the soil start breaking down and then it turned into live soil. So this is really turning out to be so beautiful. Oh my god, so happy. I'm so thrilled. Oh, right there, that's a moringa, and those are flowers. I always get pansies. I think those are pansies. Because pansies and something else look the same. Over here, right over here, like I always tell y'all, is that whatever you do in your ground, you're gonna do in your beds, and also in your containers. So this right here, this is a child container or a child bed, but it's not. But it's like literally raised up, so I call it a container because it's not open underground. But in here is like catnip. Maybe I should put that in there because my cat can be in there. Also some cucumbers and peppers. I want to put some more stuff in here because it look kind of bare. It looks very bare. So I'm gonna put some other stuff in there, razzle dazzle it all up. And yeah. Well, look at this right here. Goldenrod is right over here. You know, goldenrod. Oh, look at the baby fig. It literally is showing out right now. So pretty. But I got more figs. Figs are really easy to grow, y'all. This is burdock. Burdock actually feeds the soil too. I don't know if you guys know that, but now you know. The burdock feeds the soil and also has medicinal properties to it. So it's a really good plant. Look at this. But here's another fig. This one is the blackjack fig right here. Really good. But I want to show y'all something, which this is a native, which these are ratanas. Yeah, 2 ratanas. Shout out to my child, okay? 2 ratanas, and those actually helps with the native soil. It helps with feeding the soil too. It's part of the legume family. So though, and if you do your due diligence, you can do more research on it. Oh, come on now, wasp. I'm not trying to come back, y'all. All right, y'all, there was a wasp situation that went on, and I guess they didn't want me over there. It's all good though. But yeah, let me just wrap up this video because I just wanted to just show y'all the growth and also how to build your soil out, and yeah, just how to build your soil out. If you actually go to my old videos, I literally tell y'all and show y'all actually how to build out the soil. But I do have a guide in my Etsy channel, not Etsy channel, my Etsy page. I do have a guide on how to build a thriving soil, y'all. So let me close out this video. So make sure you guys have a wonderful, abundantly beautiful, good day, and you welcome peace within you, and you transmute that energy out. Let's hit a closing of this video.